Hello and welcome. Today we're sharing a waffle with someone we have yet to meet in real life, but whose WDW videos Gill and I have been following for a long time. Say hello to our special guest in a minute. First of all, I'd like to introduce the wafflers who are joining me today. One is this wonderful woman by my side. That's Gillian. Say hello, Jill.
Hello.
And pushing the buttons and twiddling the buttons is John. Hello, John.
Hello, Peter and Jill. It's good to be with you. I'm looking forward to this.
Yep.
Looking forward to this. So, shall we say hello?
Okay. So say hello. Yep. Say hello to our special guest, Michael Tatsch from Mike and Kathy's videos.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Yay.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi, Michael. Lovely to have you on the show.
Suitably decorated your house as well, I can see.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's always here in the house like this. Kathy's actually got Pluto with her at her bed, where she is, and she can actually work from bed.
Okay.
She wants to.
Yeah.
I got her all set up in there, and the company gave her all the equipment that she needed, so she can work from there. So she got Pluto with her supporting your dog.
Cool.
Oh,
Well, Jill also works from home.
yeah.
And
Isn't that wonderful?
But she tends to have our cat Cookie for support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cookie is very good. If I work too late, Cookie wanders into the room and reminds me that I need to log off now.
I wouldn't be surprised if our collie lady comes walking in through here. I tried to barricade this thing because I set this up last night, and I didn't want her coming in here and destroying the whole thing. She's an 85-pound dog.
Whoa, yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's nice to have you, Michael. Nice to see you at last. I know that we've been following each other's videos for a while, and it's really good to see you.
The first one I saw was the Bands of Power, I believe.
All right. Yes.
That's been some time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes.
That was our 2014 trip.
That was, yes.
Yeah. Which we've not been back since, so a lot has changed.
With one thing and another.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Life gets in the way. Pandemic gets in the way.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is we're going to ask you some quick fire questions. Now, we call them quick fire questions, but they invariably end up not being quick fire questions.
Sometimes you have to explain.
Yeah.
I'll ask the first one, and then we'll follow through. Jill, then John, and we'll just keep going. There's 14 of them, and that's just a way of introducing you and letting our listeners and viewers know who you are. We call it the Carousel of Questions.
Okay.
So the first one, what's your favorite park?
No brainer, Magic Kingdom. And the reason is in my history, that's the first park I ever went to. And that's the first park we hit when we do go to a park. Because in our day of arrival, usually at Disney World, we don't go to a park right away. We go to downtown. Well, we used to be called Downtown Disney, and we used to be called Downtown Village, Disney Village Marketplace at one time. And it's been through a whole lot of names, and now it's Disney Springs.
Disney Springs.
So we go there and sometimes meet up with people that travel with us, and then we get a full day, and it's always. I love getting into the Magic Kingdom on Main Street and just breathe the air. It's different.
Yes.
It's different air. They actually, I think, pipe some smells out there on Main Street. They do.
Yeah. Pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
Yeah. So, second question. Ride that you hate.
Well, it's one that I used to love, and that was Space Mountain. Now, I feel like I'm going to be thrown out of this thing. When they went to magnetic propulsion on this thing, where they're actually pushing you up the hills now as well, much at a quicker rate. And you got this little bar down here, and just like I'm always like this, and I'm trying to grab onto someone, and there's no one here because they're single file. And when in Disneyland, you got two in each one. And so at least you got someone to hang on to.
And it's the same in Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris, you're next to each other.
Okay, see, I like that one.
Yeah, but
Last time I
Disneyland
went on
Paris,
it, I felt very uncomfortable.
but Disneyland Paris is a much wilder ride. It's got loops and stuff. It's a much wilder ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, that's Kathy's. She hates that ride. The last time she got on there, she thought, I'm never going on this again. I'm sorry, you have to go on it alone. I did. Actually, I went with some people that we went with and left her outside. And that was my last time.
Yeah.
And it's so juddery, isn't it? It's still, after the track's been replaced, it's still juddery.
I don't mind that. I don't mind. I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster and all that. That was great. I enjoyed that, and I loved all the other ones in the park. You know, Big Thunder Railroad and Splash Mountain and all that stuff. I love those. But as you get older, you find that it's not nice to you.
Yeah, I think it's your back when you get off and you feel your back and things like that. It's not a good feeling, Michael, at all.
No.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, next question. What is the most overrated snack at Walt Disney World?
Oh gosh, and I love the snacks. I love certain snacks. The one I can't see myself ever eating is turkey leg. And I think it's high as popcorn. You're in a 98-degree weather and you're going to have carnival popcorn, essentially. I don't know. I've never tried the popcorn. I may be giving it a bum rap, but that just doesn't seem to appeal to me in that kind of weather. And it sits there, who knows for how long. Popcorn is best served fresh, right out.
Yeah.
Right after you pop it, and as you go on in time, it gets a little chewy, I see people eat it, and then I see them. A lot of them, they don't finish it. And out of the way it goes. I mean, I've seen people eat certain things, at my world travels, things that you have to catch first on your plate. A bug or live octopus. I will see you eat a live octopus, just shove it in the mouth. I gotta tell you, I don't need to taste that to know that I won't like it.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Right.
If we could have a tie, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to still give turkey a leg because I can't imagine being all greasy and have to. What do you do with this thing when you're done?
It's a very popular answer. That I must admit.
Although
I love turkey legs at Thanksgiving time over here. I love the turkey legs. I like that part of the meat. I just can't see myself. I take it off the bone. I eat it civilized, not like a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Although Orlando's going the way of Tokyo, isn't it? With getting different flavors of popcorn now.
Yeah.
Lots of different flavors.
I thought I saw that or heard about that for Disney World. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question. Favorite transportation mode in Walt Disney World?
Okay, Kathy and I are going to differ on that one. I can tell you that right away. Me, nonstop monorail. And if you've watched my videos, my favorite saying, gotta love the monorail. Yeah. And I put that in every time a monorail I can get it. And sometimes I can just sit there and just have in this last trip, I was managed on the monorail ride back from Epcot to the transportation center. Came across two other monorails on the other track while I was in the monorail. So that was great. Now, close second and Kathy's favorite is the People Mover because she loves that thing. She likes to go into all those little things and just to get a nice tour of Tomorrowland. But you also get some incredible views of the castle from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course now
the camera.
And of course now you get good reviews of the new roller coaster, the Tron ride.
Tron ride, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting that kind of a view of it, but I haven't been there since 2018. So
it was very interesting, with the People Mover being closed for quite substantial time for a refurb, and and ironing out some of the problems they had with it. But the amount of love that people have shown, you know, in all the different vlogs that you've seen since it reopened, and it's opened my eyes as just to how loved the People Mover is by so many people. It really is.
It's so
fabulous ride.
Let's say you're waiting for something. You got a Disney, a dining reservation somewhere, and you say, "Okay, what am I going to do?" It's going to be about 45. Let's go on the People Mover.
Yeah.
And you sit down and you go through that, and you come off and you go eat. And
it's
great.
It's perfect. It's perfect to just watch the world pass you by, isn't it? And it's such an amazing place as well.
And when they pass right next to you, everyone's waving at each other and having a magical day and all that stuff. It's just great feeling.
Yeah.
Also, as you know, I am queen of Team Wimp, so I don't do all the scary rides. So the People Mover means that I can actually get inside Space Mountain.
Well, see,
it's the only way I'm going to see it.
I can watch everyone else scream. One time I was in there and it was moving when all the lights were on. Not my favorite type of thing. I like the feel of it without that just looks like a roller coaster structure.
Yes. Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I like that part too. But not as much as just being on the ride itself. And I went, wow, look how close your head is to the bottom of the I didn't realize I could just do this if I wasn't hanging on. I could do this.
Sometimes it's just best not to know some of these things, isn't
it? Yes.
Okay, I have an idea what your answer might be to this next one. Favorite table service restaurant?
Well, outside of Victoria and Albert's, which, if you've seen our videos, we do this at least, and I think we've only done it every anniversary. We did it on our honeymoon 5 years later, and we plan on doing it again when we do that. I'm not sure if we snuck another one in somewhere along the line. But outside of that, let me tell you, our favorite one is Chico, the cooking place.
Right.
Okay.
We get the taste of Africa. And that's big. That's good enough. And I like the really spicy stuff. So when I order the side, dips and stuff, I like the spicy. Kathy, she gets some of hers. She likes it a little bit more milder. But if you've ever had their braised lamb shank or short ribs, they're to die for.
Wow.
Yes.
I love the decor in that restaurant as well, and the way that the light changes through the day, so it's like you're a day in Africa. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a really good call.
Yeah.
I think that'll be another one a lot of people end up putting on the list because it's one that a lot of people miss in the planning part as well.
Well, here's the other nice thing is you go through this incredible, beautiful lobby. One of the, I got to tell you, the lobby at Animal Kingdom is just gorgeous. It's incredible. And you get up in there and you're just transfixed in there. And I love it. That's probably one of my favorite lobbies. Probably thought I would say the Grand Floridian. That is impressive too, but it's just big. It's just a big tree. And, but I got to tell you, they knocked the socks off over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that leads us perfectly into
very nicely. Yes.
Yeah. Tell us. See, it's seamless. This it really is. Tell us a resort that you haven't stayed at but want to more than anything else on earth.
Well, this is another no-brainer. But let me tell you my history. I always wanted to go to the Contemporary. And, back when all you had was the Contemporary and Polynesian, you watch it on TV. Remember I told you I was 70, so I've been watching The Wonderful World of Disney all the time. And I'm looking, I said, boy, that looks really cool because it's got that monorail going through it. And then actually went into it and I went, boy, this is really too busy. And you've got all this stuff. And a lot of people there don't even stay in there. And I don't know, it just seems kind of dry. Now, great when you're watching the fireworks. Man, you can't beat that if you go to, California Grill. I'm not sure if it's still called that. We haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, it's still California Grill. Yeah.
Okay, we did there. And we went up, saw the fireworks. And we were in the wine room. And while you can watch in there, you can watch the fireworks at Epcot. Great. Epcot, and then we go later, and just get up there, watch it a little while over at Magic Kingdom, and then go watch Epcot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Favorite car park?
Or
Parking
parking lot.
lot if we're Americans.
It's the same thing. So you're parking cars, right?
Yep.
This is an interesting one, but let me tell you what I love about Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
The lot is walking up to that front gate. That to me is the best looking entrance of all the parks at Disney World. The downside is leaving. The drainage in that thing, and it's usually raining when we're leaving. You've got 2 to 3 or 4 inches of water. And so we go there every year, and we always bring an extra set of shoes that we will wear in the park because it takes 2 days to dry those puppies out. We've tried putting air dryers in there, and we blow circuits. Yeah, we're just going through there, and your ankle in water. The drainage isn't good.
I have to say, you're the first person who's answered that question that hasn't been flummoxed by it.
Yeah.
I think you really are. Yeah.
Everybody goes,
what? It's over at Peter, you see. That's
all water to wet, you get an early bath,
Yeah. Cool. Right.
I don't mind the rain.
No. This could be an
Disney.
Interesting.
You're in Florida. It's going to rain every day about 3:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can set your watch.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
It's more predictable than the parade.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
The parade, when it stops, that starts.
Yeah.
When you don't have a parade. Yep, there it is. I can see it. It's coming.
Cool.
It's funny when you're in Magic Kingdom, and I think the parade marshals are aware that there's weather incoming, and instead of that sort of slow, serene parade pace through the park, it's as if they've got something. It's just like everything's 10 times speed.
20 miles an hour going down Main Street. Reminds me of something out of Animal House.
Yes.
Well, the next question: Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, or Volcano Bay?
Well, we've been to neither one of them. Never going to go to neither one of them. Kathy does not swim.
No,
right. Okay.
I don't either.
I would absolutely do anything. And Kathy, you're probably fair-skinned, Jill, and she's fair-skinned. She'll come back after 20 minutes if she doesn't put something on, look like a lobster.
Yeah.
Me, I tan, and so it doesn't bother me. But there's so many nice pools at the resort you're staying at.
Yeah.
But those things probably would have, 20 years ago, maybe. There's a lot of toys, and again, did I mention I'm 70? It doesn't have that appeal that much anymore.
We haven't yet done any water parks. Both of our trips, it was too cold.
They just shut them because it was too cold.
Yeah. So what time of the year did you go?
With November, December.
Okay.
December 2010, which was freezing cold, really, really cold. And then November 2014, which was okay, but a couple of days there was quite a cold wind.
Yeah. And we're going in January next year. So we're probably not going to get in the parks again.
Again, it's a hit and miss. It can be cold. It may not. I watched some videos where they're wearing shorts. The next thing you know, it's 30 degrees and they've got coats on and earmuffs and everything like that in the same trip. Come on.
Yeah. I think as well, if you do catch it when the weather's not great, the one thing certainly I've found is the fact that very few Americans and certainly Floridians won't go to the water parks when it's cold. So it's a nice little tip for anyone. It's just it will be very, very quiet, and you can actually get lots and lots done. Next question. This leads on nicely as well because it's two rather new areas. So, Galaxy's Edge or Diagon Alley?
All right. I'm going to go with Galaxy's Edge on this because I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Right.
During this pandemic, I hadn't watched every single episode. You know, the trilogies, the 3 trilogies, but there's also some other things that help. So I watched them in not I'm going to say chronicle order, but not in when they came out, but timeline of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I spent it, and boy, that made a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that. There are some parts I missed. You know, how did Han Solo come into the picture and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay, that's how. So
I think
go with
that's
that.
a really good.
Now, as far as the other one, it looks marvelous. We don't go to other parks.
Okay.
We don't go to Universal Studio. We have no interest in it. We don't go to Tampa Bay. We don't do. Kathy went to SeaWorld once. Her and her sister called it Sweat World because it was so humid. And but we just don't venture out. Once we get into that berm that's around this, 27,000 acres or whatever it is, or square mile, one of the two. If it's a whole bunch of that, we don't leave it till we leave.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Early morning or late night park visit?
There's none of the above. I mean, we don't. Okay. We're middle day.
Okay.
I used to, or I would be there at rope drop and skedaddle, way back when. Kathy, again, now this is where we're going to get into her work life. She changes her work life. She says, okay, I will get back to you. Just puts it on voicemail. I will get back to you tomorrow or when I can, maybe this afternoon, but don't count on it. I'll get back to you when I can. She says it in a nice way. But what she likes to do is get up, and we like to have on our resort balcony breakfast. I'll go to whatever place is where we're staying, and we just sit out there and have coffee and enjoy that early morning type of thing. But I am really the one that gets up early, and then in the evening we like to come back and we interrupt it at the park. Out comes the champagne out on the porch or balcony, and I've got a snack tray going out there, and there we go. And that's how we spend it. So it's neither one of them, sort of. And
that sounds a far better idea. What's your champagne in the snack tray? That's it. I'm with you there, Michael.
Yeah, and we have a time. We go for a period of time. We meet up, and when we go with my son, and we go with my Kathy's sister and her family, my son and his family, we don't necessarily need to stay in the same resorts. We just find a meeting place at a time.
Yeah.
And we all got phones. We can communicate and say, where are you? You text a message and we're stuck on this, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we meet up. And then we go back our separate ways. We do a few rides together. We may eat together. And, we're not tied to, because everyone has different things they want to do. And quite frankly, when you get 3, 2, 8 people, it slows you down. It really does.
Yeah.
And this wanders off. Okay, where did they go? Now they're taking photo ops over here and over there. You want to take your own photos. So that's what we do. But it's a middle of the day type of thing.
Yeah.
What a lovely way of doing it.
It is, yeah.
Right, next question. Keep the magic or backstage detail?
Keep the magic. And because that's what you're doing when you get there. As soon as you go under that sign that cardboard, I don't sure you guys probably fly in, and if you're at the airport, you're taking the bus, but it probably goes through that same archway.
Yeah.
You
do.
World where dreams come true.
Yeah.
And we always say, Walt Disney World, in our videos, you've seen it, where dream comes true. Yay. And we do this in the car. Once we're under there, you're in the magic. And there's no doubt about it. And so the whole place is in the magic. So you're immersed with it. Do I have an interest of what goes on behind there? I don't want to see it in person. I will watch a documentary on it. In fact, over the pandemic, I watched the Imagineering story, that whole series of that. Loved it. But I'd like to see how all of these parks came to be and the transfer of power between the different presidents that they've had and their styles. And that fascinated me. But I don't really need to do all of that there. I'm there to enjoy the magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is Kathy, by the way. She couldn't care less about that backstage stuff.
What I'd also do is, if for anybody who's watching and listening, it's still on Disney Plus, the Imagineering story. If you've not watched it, you've missed out massively. It's a wonderful series.
Yeah. So, aren't they doing the new series, the behind the
attractions?
Yes.
I can't wait for that to come out.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. And it's July 16th.
Right.
And I'll be watching it on Disney Plus. So
I don't know if it's July 16th over here.
I think so. Yeah,
it is.
About that,
yeah, I think it is. It's cool. Yeah, it's another one. Just keep it in your diary because it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored.
No. Disney Plus wish to do to find us.
Yeah.
I don't need to go on those tours and the corridors and all that stuff behind that walk behind it.
Yeah.
I've had to a couple of times when the ride stall.
Yes.
Cool.
Pirates of the Caribbean come to mind. It's stalled.
Put your blinkers on so you don't get this. You don't have. That much.
I'll get out.
Cool.
Next one. So, who is your favorite other podcast or vlogger about Disney?
And it doesn't have to be us.
Okay, a blogger. Well, there's a couple of them that we like a lot. We watched Tim Tracker.
Yep.
And he's gone to phases right now because of Jackson. We love Jackson to death. We love Tim and Jen. And they're great. Just the way they interact with each other is great. And it's informative. I like their informative because it looks like it's just part of a normal conversation, not like you're going around and just making it formal. Now he does do that when he's alone. And I watched every one of his series on every resort that he went to. And he did a batch like that. And I found it very fascinating because it helps me to look at it. Would I want to stay there?
Yep.
And boy, that looks nice. And we've done some of that. Food blog, everyone has their own taste. You got to go taste it yourself. But at least you can get an idea what it looks like, at least, and the kind of food it is. And so I like that as well. Those are the two that we watch most often. And if we watch Phil, Em, and Ben, I have a complete collection of them. I download every one of them, and it's on my hard drive.
Yeah.
And we can watch it anytime we want. And I even have DVDs that I made out of them.
Right.
And that's another story later. Maybe. But
yes, because I know they came to stay with you when
they came and stayed
when they went to New York, didn't they? Yeah.
2016 went to New York.
Yeah.
We did not know Emma was already expecting at that point.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because that was June.
Cool. Right.
Yes. When Polly was born.
Yes.
Yeah.
January.
Yes. By the way, Phil, Emma, and Ben, if you're watching this, get in touch. We want to talk to you.
Yep.
It's getting what?
Get in touch. We want to talk to them.
Phil and Ben and
Polly. We'd love to chat to them too.
Yeah, just like we communicate through the private messaging, we do a lot of that as well. We keep in touch that way. Now we talk a lot about, Phil and I talk about video equipment because he was really big in editing and all that stuff because that's what I'm really big into. But I find myself on just basic stuff talking to Emma a lot through Facebook.
Right, okay.
And not Phil.
Cool.
So we wouldn't call them a vlogger because that's not what they do, but but we look online too of people who do this stuff. Alliersnet.com. We look at that because they are pretty well up to date on stuff. So there's also not just vloggers and stuff, but you have other social media that you can use to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think I know the answer to this next question. On-site or off-site?
Crazy question. Yeah. Have you ever stayed off-site?
Yes, and 3 times. And let me just. All right. So, first time was with my parents. This was in 1968. I was a junior in high school. My father was just as interested in Disney and everything else. So we're going to go to California, and we got to go to Disneyland, and we got to go to Knott's Berry Farm and all that stuff. Well, I have some family out there. So my mother's sister was out there, and my uncle, and so they met us in California and go to Disneyland. And so my younger brother and my sister was already out of college and working high school. She went 1 year of college and then she went straight to work. So she couldn't go with us. And so we went out there. So that's one time we stayed off site because it's in California. But even that Disneyland, it wasn't at the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah.
Just too expensive for us at that time.
Yeah.
Second time was much later. This is in my first life. I call it first life, but the first wife. We went in 1984. I'm not sure why, because she really didn't seem to be all that interested in Disney, but I guess it was more at my insistence. And I had a son, so I wanted to take him. 1984, he was 7 years old. That's the time I'm going to take him. So we drove. We stayed in a Ramada Inn. Worst experience of my life. That place, they said it was renovated. You know, what they meant was where you check in was renovated. The rest like something you see in South America. And
oh dear.
So the next time we went, we happened to be, I had took an assignment in Venezuela with a manufacturing company. And so they would send you back once a year to repatriate, and they paid our way back. And so we stopped off in Miami and then took a flight to Orlando and rented a car and immediately, we booked it, stayed at the Buena Vista Palace, which is now the Hilton Buena Vista Palace, which was technically at that time period on property because that was their premier, their flagship. You know, you still only had the other two, and then you had the Plaza Hotel, and you had this and that, and you had a whole bunch of them all in that area around Disney Village Marketplace. Yeah. And, we could look out over to that. The paddle boat was there at the time. Yeah. Fulton's, and now it's Paddlefish.
Paddlefish, yeah.
And so you can see the difference, slum and luxury resort. I think we had enough of the other, so we were kind of making up for it. And then it fell off the map. We didn't do anything. Then separated. Met Kathy. Kathy and I actually also worked together here in New Jersey. And once they sold the company, and then I moved back down, and then I took an assignment back with them to do consulting because I got into consulting. And she got me to see her president of her company. And so I came back up here. Boom. We got married. First place we went was Grand Floridian.
Wow.
Victorian Alberts. Because we're both into the Victorian style. Our house is full of Victorian era furniture. You can see a chair over here and stuff like that. And we never looked back. and we just kept staying at different places. But we stayed at the Grand Floridian, we stayed at the Yacht Club, we stayed at. So it's definitely on site. We're Port Orleans, both haven't stayed at the French Quarter yet, and we can't ever seem to get in. But we stayed at both the Magnolia Bend and Alligator Bayou, and our most recent one was Old Key West.
Yeah.
Jill's going to ask you the most controversial question that we found.
The
final question in the Carousel of Questions.
Yes.
But this is the most controversial.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on this.
Oh boy, I hope I pass.
So, Finding Nemo or Festival of the Lion King?
Now, you're talking about the stage show on both of them.
Yeah.
We've seen both of them. Whew, that's a tough one. But for me, it's Festival of the Lion King.
Sorry, John. Sorry, John.
That's all right. That's all right.
I watched both of them in the animation as well. And actually, I saw the Nemo one first, and then Finding Dory and all that, and the animation. I'm a kid at heart. That never comes. Once you're bitten by Disney, you're bit. You're done. So, but I hadn't seen the animated. I'm not big on the ones where they try to use real stuff in there. It just takes away from the feel. But I watched it on an airplane, and in 2019, so I was only a couple years younger, and I'm looking around, and these kids over here are wondering, what is this guy doing watching that? But I loved it, and but the stage show, they have the characters have a time to cut up a little bit, and so it's some funny part, and Finding Nemo had some funny parts in there too. And but I don't know, it may just been that was in the afternoon, maybe a little hotter and warmer, and it just didn't get the best feel. And so it was really tough to make that decision, but I'm going to go with Festival of the Lion King.
Cool.
Yes, it's controversial between the Wafflers. It really is. Yes,
it probably would be across the nation, across the world.
That's what we're finding.
That's what wars come out of,
Cool.
Now,
can I just go back on?
Sorry, John.
Yeah, can I just go back on something you mentioned, Michael? Because actually, it was fascinating. You're talking about how you and Kathy actually first met, and you spoke about your first visit to. Or your first interaction with Disney being with your first wife. So
and it actually started with my father.
Yeah, has that actually changed? Was it a case that once you and Kathy first went to the Grand Floridian, did that just start this whole love of Disney, or did that come earlier for you?
Oh, that came earlier. She has a sister that has been to Disney World probably now about 43 times.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
She went 3 or 4 times in 1 year, and she lives here in New Jersey. So, and a lot of times they have their. She was a teacher. She's retired now. The teachers union would plan their convention, and Disney World. Why not? Where are you going to do this in New Jersey?
Yes.
Like that. You don't want to go to the wharf. But so she's been there. Her and her sister went a bunch of times, and her sister is a full hard. Now she's the one, that other one where you a morning and a night. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All the way through. The husband has to go back and take a nap midway during the day. Not her. Except magic hours, no problem. And then she goes back and she goes and does her laundry while they're swimming until 3 a.m, and then she's up again at 8.
Wow. Wow.
She's killing us.
Yeah. So,
but to continue
So-
on, so I knew
Yeah.
that she liked Disney. That wasn't the reason that we had an attraction for each other. You know, her professionalism at work. You know, you learn a lot about people when you work with them
yeah.
because they don't think they have to, you know, impress you.
Yeah.
Although in this case, she might have wanted to do that, but she pulled no punches. I was president of the company, and she was my office manager at the time.
Wow.
And she told me when I was wrong, but I'm open to that. You know,
Yep.
to be a boss doesn't mean that you're always right. In fact, it probably is that you're mostly wrong. But your part is to just create the environment that lets other people flourish. So, and
Yeah.
so we got to know each other working on our projects. We did metal stampings, and when they sold, Teledyne sold all 100 and something companies with all their subsidiaries. They sold it to all over the place. So I moved away. And then, but I knew she got another job because we kept in touch. And then when I came back up to do a project, I moved back up here. And because it was going to be like several months, they were looking for an overseas site to put another manufacturing plant. And I was going to help out. I had experience in Mexico and in Brazil, and that was two of the places they were looking at. And I got to see Kathy in a different light. I was no longer that relationship with the, you know, subordinate and this and that and the other thing. It was very equal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've done some
And
really
looked at
special
you in
things.
that light.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Would you like to go to lunch? And that's how it kind of started.
Nice.
And I know that
And
you've done some really special things in WDW,
Yeah.
haven't you? Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
it started with that Grand Floridian. I mean, to drive up to that place, and you got the monorails going right through there. And if you're lucky enough to catch it, I actually spent an hour just trying to get two crossing ones at the same time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, oh boy, but it wows you, and especially when you walk in and you see that grand lobby, and but we went the first time on our honeymoon, and but we didn't start doing videos, and that got me in a lot of trouble. Photos got me in a lot of trouble. And that's how I eventually got into that. Because
Right.
she made me. She said, "How come we never take any pictures?" I said, "They're up here." She said, "Yeah, but you can't have it up there. You know, it's just because she knows me. You know, I have a great memory, but the problem is it just doesn't last that long." But no, that's the joke. But I do remember most things.
Yeah. I remember you got a special photo shoot done, didn't you, around Grand Floridian?
Yes, we did, and that was in 2011. We went at Christmas time. We brought all that gear down, and that's the first time we went on the auto train. That allows you to bring a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because your car is your luggage.
Yeah.
That's good and bad. You take stuff down, and then you empty out what you've done, especially if you're bringing a lot of food and, you know, wine, champagne, etc. Now you got empty boxes, which you put all the stuff you bought in, and you throw it back in the car. And we bring stuff down for her sister when we go. Those heavy stuff like bottles of water, so that you're paying 15 cents a bottle instead of $3.
Yeah.
So how did this photo shoot come about? Because I know you brought down special clothes and things like that. I don't know how many of our listeners and viewers would have seen it.
Mine, the only thing authentic was the cane, the walking stick. That is vintage. Everything that she was wearing was from 1912, including the shoes and the purse. Everything it has engraved. That's a silver purse, and it was engraved the date in there, and that's the one I wish she would have had for the wedding. But she also had another vintage dress for the wedding.
Right.
So it's around the 1902 time period because we got 2002 is when we got married.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. The people said they've never seen anything like that, and we were all the way down. We stayed in one of those tower rooms, to where you had a little extra I don't know who decorated that room, but they that wasn't over. You know, there was a lot. They must have been in a hurry. Let's leave that alone. No one will ever use that. They don't need light. They don't need a lamp over here. And so it's a little sparse, but the view is great. But it's all the way down to where you catch the boat.
Yeah.
We had to walk in all that stuff and those shoes all the way back up to the lobby to meet the photographer.
Yeah.
And but he was great. He knew ahead of time. We had talked with him. He knew what we were planning on doing, and he made a story out of that.
Yeah.
And it's like meet and the journey and stuff like that, and all over the courtyard, up by the cars and everything. And then we just waited for the photos. You do have the copyright for that. You own them. So you're able to do whatever you want. So I made a video out of it. And you probably saw that. That's out there as well.
Yeah.
And it just brings tears to my eyes every time I watch it, especially that balcony, that upstairs part.
Yeah. And it seems the actual setting itself, just the whole thing just sort of seems to blend seamlessly. You know, whilst you're dressed and you're probably feeling as you were dressed up, you feel absolutely amazing. Yeah. But the surroundings just set it all off beautifully. They really do.
While we were waiting for the photographer, people thought we worked for them. Right, okay, and have photos with us.
Yeah.
I could understand.
You know, my daughter wants to have a picture of this. Sure, come on over. They're taking snapshots. So we're going back when the photo shoot was over. We're going back over to. We're up on the upstairs now, or needed to go upstairs, whatever it was. And we're going to go in the elevator. And we're waiting there, and the people are looking at us. And I said, "Welcome to our home."
Brilliant.
Oh, do you work, you know, with the Grand Floridian? I said, no, we're just here getting a photo shoot. Said, we thought maybe you were shooting a promotional for the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
And I said, no, we're just doing this on our own.
Well, we will put a link to that video in the show notes because it's well worth checking out.
Yeah. Great, definitely. That's good. And I watch it every now and then. She still has the dress. We did a 10-year celebration. We had a deacon from our church come over and do a ceremony. We made it just like a wedding. We hired a photographer. We did everything. Right. And the deacon brought holy water from the River Jordan.
Wow.
And and he blessed the we had a program that printed up, and he blessed that. Yeah. And you could see the individual drops as it came down. Okay. The photographer did a good job.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Michael, you mentioned earlier about traveling on the train. To Disney World. This is something that I think most of our British viewers and listeners might not have come across. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I had no idea this happened. It's been around since the 60s. I had no idea.
Right.
And, you know, I never thought about taking the train and stuff. You know, you have air travel and you have cars. I always drove or flew. But Kathy doesn't like to fly. And I found that out immediately. Does not want to get on an airplane. She just doesn't like it. Doesn't like the crampness. She doesn't mind the plane. She likes all the hullabaloo before you get on the plane. And so she said, I can't stand it. And that takes longer than the flight sometimes. And well, maybe not for you guys, but for us. And although I'm not so sure. So we always drove. And I found this out by one of my bed and breakfast guests, because we would drive on a honeymoon. We stopped because we had breakfast first with my son before we left, and he babysit our bed and breakfast, or our house. We wasn't a bed and breakfast yet, and went. He got married 2 weeks before we did, so I was the best man at his wedding in Dallas, and then he came here. They came here. To be best man at my wedding, and then we left in the vehicle, and they did their honeymoon in New York, but used our house as the base, and they visited all places in New Jersey as well. That drive gets a little tedious, and especially as you get older, it gets a little tedious. So we were making 2 stops on the way down, 2 stops on the way back so that we could rest. And we're saying we're spending more time on the road than we are at Disney. And so let's see if we can make it halfway. Well, that means that you're leaving somewhere around 6 in the morning. Leaving, that means you have to get up, get everything closed up. If you have dogs, you have to get that taken care of. And we drove over to just as you cross the border into South Carolina, which is about halfway there. Long drive. We got in there about 4:00 in the afternoon and tired. And again, up at 6, and then made it in to Orlando the next day. Again, late, and you're just beat. You're tired. I was telling that to one of my guests, because I found out they were talking Disney. I said, "Oh, you're Disney fans. Great." And from then on, every breakfast, we're talking Disney. We had our own little waffle section. Only this one was real waffles. And they go, "Oh, have you heard about this auto train?" And I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Part of Amtrak." "Oh, I know about Amtrak. Auto train, explain this." Well, it takes you from Lorton to Sanford, just as a suburb of Orlando.
Yeah.
And back, and you put your car on it and you go. And I said, "That's great. And I got to look into that." And so I did. And Kathy and I talked about it for our next trip in 2011. And it's perfect. You have to drive to about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours from where we live in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, till you get to Lorton, Virginia. Lorton, Virginia, once you cross the Potomac, I guess, in Washington, D.C., it's basically 30 minutes from there. And you can see it from the I-95. And so, train station. So it's very easy access on. You put your car on. You don't put your car on. Excuse me. They don't allow you to drive it onto the carriers. But they take everything. Take what you want, because this is your last chance. You can take certain things into the train. Depending on where you are, depends on how much you can take in. And there's coach, and then there's sleepers. And so I have to get some of my notes here because I have some different sizes and pricing and stuff. I did some little research here. But coach is pretty much like you would expect a coach would be in any mode of transportation. You're out in the open with everything, but people load in pillows. You have big carts and they load in pillows. You can bring ice chests on board. And then you have the more civilized way is in a sleeper. Now there's multiple types of sleepers. We get one that's called a bedroom, which has its own private bath in the room.
Yes.
And
that's cool.
It's about like what you would have in an airplane lavatory, but except add a shower to it. And so you're pretty much, but pretty much add a shower around it is really more like it. You could probably do everything you need to do all at the same time in that thing. But let me get my glasses here because I can tell you some of this, how big they are. And they have this thing called a roomette, which is just basically 2 seats and a table in the middle. The table goes away at nighttime and the seats fold into 2 berths, one on the bottom and one on the top. And the roomette is, I'm going to put it in, I converted it to square meters, 2.4. It's not very big.
No.
Yeah, you are sitting, and if you go like that, you're touching the door.
Yeah.
And this is a window. The bedroom is 4.5.
Okay.
So it's bigger. Yeah. And it's got 2 up and down berths. One of them is a little bit bigger. Kathy and I can fit on the bottom. Some of the people that I've seen come on that train, probably only, one could barely fit on that one.
Yeah.
But you got an upper berth. I tried that upper berth, never did it again. Kathy and I are small enough that we could sleep in the same lower one.
Yeah.
They have what's called, and that one, the dimensions, I didn't put this in meters, but the width of it is 7.7 feet 6 inches.
Okay.
So it's a good size, and it's got a little closet, and it's got the bathroom. And outside the bathroom, it has a sink where you can wash your hands and shave and do all that stuff. It's got a like a captain's chair on the other side of the table. And then you have the sofa. It's like a sofa. You can just lie straight out on that when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Great. Kathy uses it. I use it. And you can sit there and look right out the window and watch the world go by. It's great for video and get your suction cup, pop it right on there, or, and do all that stuff. Way to go.
Is it really convenient?
It
is really convenient?
And again, you can bring a lot more in there now. We bring, first of all, video equipment. I don't bring my whole video equipment because it's about the size of a travel bag on wheels.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I have another smaller thing that I put that in. Bring all the snacks and drinks you want. We bring in champagne, some bottles of wine. You can also, later at night, I can bring in something a little stronger. It does help you sleep. The first time riding this thing, it may be a little new to you, but you get used to it very quickly. You do get fed on this thing,
right?
Too. In coach, you do not, but they have on the sleeper. This is the current sleeper menu. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some really good stuff on there. This comes with your pricing, and you have a dinner. You have 3 seatings. And then you have a continental breakfast, but it's in the dining car. And that's a breakfast, and it's first come, first serve. But on the other ones, you have to have assigned times to go and eat.
Okay.
Because they can't do that. We always ask to have it in our room. And they accommodate. You tip them a little bit more. You have each sleeper car has its own attendant. And they ride the whole way down, and which is about a 17-hour trip.
Wow!
But most of the time you're sleeping. Sleeping overnight. You leave at 4:00 in the afternoon. You barely got time to do a whole lot. They're calling the first meal at 5:30. We don't like to eat that early. We go to 7, and then you go. We watch. We bring a lot of Disney videos with us. A lot of Disney music with us, and we play it and watch that kind of stuff all the way down until we're tired, and then we wake up. And you wake up, you eat, and they're already prepping this. You're going to roll in there about 9:00 a.m. And so it's really most of your time sleeping. And the coach, you have a menu, you buy your stuff that you can get, and the food is really, really, really good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, look, the food looks good.
A little more information. You can't get off the train. You can imagine trying to get off the train. Man, I need my red Chevy in there, and now you've got 330 cars that you got to go find where this car is and which sleeper, which car thing it's in. I have some information on that too. The train itself is about 3/4 of a mile long, which is about 1.6 kilometers. When it's full, and at full capacity, there's 18 passenger cars.
Right.
33 auto carriers, 2 locomotives, 650 passengers, and 330 automobiles.
Wow.
And pricing it depends on the time of the year. There's some things that are
it's fine.
One is a motorcycle that I've never seen that change. Coach is the cheapest. You can get it $90 per person, $125 per person, in that range. It's not a very expensive and that's per leg. Going down is that.
Yeah.
Coming back, you're going to pay the same thing.
Okay.
Now the sleepers. Let me tell you what our round trip cost. In 2011, it was $1,434. So look at that. Our last one, now as it came up, our last one was $2,019.
Wow. Okay.
Round trip.
Round trip. Okay, that's not bad.
That's not bad. That's not
Cool.
bad. Now, if you go on certain times of the year, that could go up to close to 3.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of year because of the demand.
Yeah.
So that's when we took it in December, and the people, you don't want to go in September, October, because a lot of people are coming down on the train and are going to stay the winter down there.
Okay, yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah, the snowbirds,
Their car full of stuff.
yeah.
And the interesting thing is the cost going from Lorton to Sanford is more expensive than the one coming the other way.
Okay.
They keep some people down there. I don't know.
Yeah,
it must be. It seems like a fantastic way of actually traveling from sort of the northern parts of the US, and certainly for British people, it's certainly something that I don't think any of us would ever have thought of. And I think if you were going for like a split stay and you were going to New York, I for one, I think it'd be a fascinating way of seeing the country and just see how the land changes the further south you get as well.
If you think you're going to want to rent a car down in Orlando, you put your car on the train.
Yeah.
It goes with you.
Yeah.
And then you get it at the other end. Now, they have one thing that we did this last time, because sometimes you can wait, just like getting luggage off of an airplane. You could be the first ones to get luggage off or the last one. And with cars, if it's full, that last one may come out 2.5 hours after you arrive.
Right.
So if you pay extra, you can be one of the first 30 cars on.
Okay.
We did this last time.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that, but they run out quickly. We were car number 7 on the going down, and car number 9 on the way back, and that cost you about $60 each way. So that's a bargain.
That's worth it. Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Don't be late on the train. If you saw our 2017 trip,
yes,
we missed it by 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So you had an extra night in Disney, though, didn't you? So
yes, we did. We went back, and boy, was Kathy's, because we joke a lot, and so we called as we're driving back. And first of all, we got off. We had to go find a place, so we said, "Let's go back to Disney." So I immediately stopped, found a parking lot, which is what we call a car park.
Yeah.
Yep.
And pull over and call Disney. And so as I'm talking to him, it's a long conversation. I explained that we had just left and we missed our train and we want a room for the night. He said, well, let me see if I can help you out. And blah, blah, blah. And he gets all of our information. He says, oh, by the way, just trying to help see if I can get you a discount. Back a long time ago, I think they stopped doing this now. And even they did it on our 2018. We didn't see it. They used to put little things on the table that if you book something for your next trip, you get a discount if you book it while you're here. He said, maybe I can still get you that. Did you pick one up? And I said, no, I didn't. Quite frankly, I didn't think I was going to need it this soon. He laughed. So we're calling her sister, and I go, hey, guess what? We're coming back. And she goes, ha, 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 ha. You know, sure, yeah, just enjoy your train home. I said, no, seriously. We're coming back. We missed the train. We heard silence on the other end. And she said, Miles, they missed their train. They're coming back. I said, where are you guys going to be later? And she goes, we went and saw the fireworks.
Yeah,
right.
And with them, and we stayed in the Alligator Bayou. That was the only one available in Port Orleans.
Yeah.
We could, And
We like Alligator Bayou.
and actually, I found it very nice. We had a corner room. It was great. I liked it.
Yeah.
And different. We usually stayed in the Magnolia Bend, and different, and we liked the difference.
Yeah.
And so we enjoyed it.
Cool.
We had another layover on this last trip.
Yeah.
Because of the weather. Amtrak called us out and said we canceled the train, the one that you're on. But call us real quickly. And so looked at it. So, this is only about 10-minute old email I got. Immediately called, and they just booked us on the next one back. And so we stayed another night, stayed in the same room, got that worked out.
Yeah.
And that was great. So,
Cool.
but it's and here's why way we look at it. You got 3 trips when you're doing the train. You got the anticipation of going down on the train and that ride down, and you're still waiting to get to Disney World.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when we leave Disney World, it's a bummer. When you see that first 7-Eleven, you're not in Kansas anymore. You're not in the happy place.
Yeah.
And said, get back to reality. But now you have it. But we're getting back on the train. And we're going to get that experience all over again. And that gives us time to watch a lot of our raw video.
Yeah.
We've already done some of that in our room. And the raw video, it's good. We even did it even different this time, is we did not try to push our luck going down from where we live to Lorton, because anything can happen. You could have a backup for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You missed the train. Now what? Suppose you can't get another one for 4 days. You're going to drive it now. You're going to drive. And you can get down there if you really push it overnight. You're going to be beat. So we went down the night before and stayed in a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, we said, why don't we go into a different bed and breakfast halfway back to home? And we had that plan, but the train cancellation, we had to cancel.
Cool.
Let's get back home. So there's many ways you can take that. So someone comes from overseas, they can go into New York. Don't rent a car in New York. Get over on the Jersey side, or get all the way down close to DC and rent one from there, and then get on the train, take it down, and again, you can pack a lot of stuff in your car.
Yeah.
But there's pricing per cars and how big they are and how tall they are, luggage racks. You can't keep anything on the luggage rack, but you can have a permanent luggage rack. I've seen people try to bring a canoe out there. It's crazy what they do. But
cool. Let's move on to
that's the train.
Okay.
And we'll never do anything else.
Yeah.
Point 4.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's fantastic.
It is.
It is.
I've got the last question. I think I might know what this one is. What's the most special thing that ever happened to you in a Disney park?
Whoa. That's going to take some. Well, I think thing that happened to Kathy. We went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and we dressed up.
Yeah.
We dressed up as the trolley people.
Oh yeah.
Kathy wore those tight dresses, and she had the outfit. And I dressed up like Bert, I think it was, and but what I was wearing kind of worked. And the Mad Hatter came right up to Kathy. He says, "Who are you supposed to be, young lady?" And she goes, "Well, I'm a trolley dancer." And she goes, "You look wonderful. You're perfect." And so and he goes off, and so she beamed. So that was one of them. It's hard to pick out one because it's so special.
Yeah.
But people come up to you and go out of their way to try to make it special.
Yes.
They're all over the place. But that one singled out. And okay, a couple other ones. Again, it's what people do at Old Key West. I'm walking back. The guy stops and picks up. Say, "Which way are you heading?" It's one of the carts. I'm going up to the main area to pick up something from the store. Get in. I'll just take you up there, so you didn't have to walk. Or people give you little tips and here and there. Oh, you go over here, do that. Make sure you do that, and give you a little help in going places.
Yeah.
But it's just through all of them. There isn't really one thing that gets singled out.
Cool.
And I think the other question that I've got is, when is your next trip going to be?
We're hoping it's next year. We have penciled in next year again to meet up with Kathy's sister and family. They always fly. And my son and his family, they sometimes fly and sometimes drive. Our most interesting one was really a plane, train, and automobile that we did. Was, back 2015, I think it was. The one where we did the Mission Impossible type of thing. And the voiceover, with each day you get a phone call and that's your mission for the day. That voice was Kathy.
Right. Okay.
And Command Central, that also was Kathy. And then I have a voice change program that I can use to really disguise it. And she was perfect.
Right.
I tried mine, and my voice is distinct. It really comes through. It's hard to disguise it, but with hers, I was able to do that. So that was fun, a lot of fun to do that. We gave everybody little nicknames on that one. And so it was fun beforehand to do that. So it's fun meeting with them. We're going to do it again, hopefully. We've scheduled in August, or looking at it in August. We've got time to plan it. And that, again, is a 5-year anniversary.
Okay.
And we're, I said we always stay at Grand Floridian. I'm not sure we will this time. I think we're going back to the West.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We stayed in a 1-bedroom villa, and it was fantastic for just the two of us. There's so much room.
Yes.
It's like 940 square feet, and the bathroom has its own bathroom. It's seriously, you go in from the bedroom and you go to the bathroom. Then there's another door, and that has a tub, the big jet tub, and then put stuff and a sink and all that. And then you go to the other one, and it has the shower and another sink and stuff. And that's where the commode is. That you can get from the laundry room. So if people that are out visiting and they don't have to go through your bedroom.
Yes.
So they go to the laundry room and go right in there. So it's we really like that. Weren't too impressed with the eating, but maybe it was just a bad time when we were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
you've
got Disney Springs right on your doorstep there, haven't you, too? So
yeah, you're so close to Disney Springs. And I have a collection of Mickey watches, and I try to buy one there just about every time I go. The last one I did in 2018, they couldn't take the links out, and so they sent me to Disney Springs.
Okay,
and the place they're all part of Disney, so they did it, and so I was remarked just incredible closeness to you. I'm there. A couple of back roads, and there I am. And park in the Lime Garage. You're right in the middle. You can go this way, that way. And so you had to park one time down at the end. The time we got to the other end,
it's a long way.
We really weren't wanting to look at all those Christmas trees that were there, because it was
it
doesn't seem like Christmas. But that's it.
No problem.
Yeah.
This is your chance to let everybody listening and viewing know where they can find you.
Online.
Don't
tell them where you
don't tell them where you live.
Well, some of them do know. So. But a lot of them have stayed here at the bed and breakfast, so they know where it is.
Yeah. So where can we find you online?
Where do we find online? It's Mike and Kathy's videos, and you can also MG Tatsch if you want to use that way. But those are the two that is on video. If you, my Facebook is by, if somebody wants to find me there, they can find me and do a friend request. If I know who you are, if I know you from, let's say, YouTube, that sort of thing, well, then, I'll do it. But I don't just get friends to have friends.
Sure. Yeah. Very sensible.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah. And shout out, the Phil Emmon Ben. He's the one that got me started in videoing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd been videoing, but I'm pretty sure it would be. It's too much fun.
Yes. It is. It is fun. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening and viewing. You can always find us, the Great British Mickey Waffle, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GB Mickey Waffle, and on our YouTube channel, which is the Great British Mickey Waffle. You can also get in touch with us by email at waffleon@gbmickeywaffle.com. And you can also find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, etc., etc. And finally, you can check out our website, the www.gbmickeywaffle.com. And if you listen to the first time, we'd love it if you could like and subscribe, so don't miss out on any fun. Again, thank you for joining us. And that only leaves one thing to say: waffle on!